You stop because your feet hurt. That's the whole reason. 6 weeks in Milwaukee and you still haven't figured out the bus schedule, so you walk more than you should, and tonight your shift ran long and the city smells like rain that hasn't fallen yet, and you stop on North 25th Street to lean against a brick wall and let your heels recover. The building behind you is beige, unremarkable, the kind of place that exists in every city without anyone ever really seeing it. Mailboxes in the lobby. Someone's takeout smell drifting down a stairwell. A fish-shaped doormat outside apartment 213. You are not supposed to be here. You don't live here. You just stopped to rest. A man comes across the parking lot carrying a paper bag from a pharmacy, receipt taped to the outside. Sandy hair, wire-rimmed glasses, a face that belongs on a church directory. He smiles at you the way people in smaller towns smile. Easy, unrehearsed, and asks if you know where the nearest bus stop is. You do. You tell him. He thanks you, shifts the bag to his other arm, pauses like he just thought of something. Says he's got beer upstairs if you want to watch the game. Just a neighbor being friendly. You've been in Milwaukee 6 weeks. You don't know many people. The loneliness is real and sits behind your sternum like something low-grade and chronic. So when a stranger smiles and means it, or seems to, the reasonable thing feels like saying yes. You say yes. The apartment is clean in a deliberate way, the kind of clean that took effort and intention rather than habit. An aquarium runs along one wall, large dark fish circling without urgency. There's a smell underneath the incense, something chemical, faint, the kind of smell your brain registers and then politely files away because everything else seems fine. He's already talking, asking where you're from, whether you like Milwaukee yet, whether your family knows you moved here. You answer everything. You're good at conversation, always have been. It's the thing people say about you, that you make them feel like the most interesting person in the room. He pours you a drink without asking and sets it in front of you, and you pick it up because that's what you do when someone hands you something. 20 minutes later, the room has a half-second lag in it. You've had 2 drinks. The math doesn't work. Your thoughts arrive slightly behind schedule, like a translation with a delay built in, and you notice it the way you'd notice a loose step. 1 second of wrongness before your foot finds the floor, and you convince yourself it was nothing. But it isn't nothing. Your body's chemistry is being rewritten in real time, and some part of you, the animal part, the part that doesn't need language, is already screaming. He's sitting between you and the hallway. You didn't notice when that happened. You try to stand, not to leave, just to use the bathroom, just to move, and your legs disagree. You grip the armrest. He watches. He doesn't offer help. He waits, with the patience of someone who has done this before and knows exactly which part comes next. The warmth of the conversation, the jokes about his job at the chocolate factory, the easy laugh, the second drink poured before you finish the first, all of it peels back at once, and underneath it is something cold and completely still. You ask what was in the drink. Your voice comes out thicker than you intended. His expression doesn't change. That's the part that reaches through the chemical fog and grips something essential in you. Not anger, not menace, just a patient, almost apologetic calm. He says he doesn't want to hurt you. He says he just wants company. He says it the way you'd explain something reasonable to someone being unreasonable about it, and the steadiness of his voice is more frightening than anything else in the room. He moves you to the bedroom, and you understand in that moment that his strength exists in a different category than his appearance suggested. He is practiced. This is choreography he knows by heart, and you are not the first person to be guided through it. There's a shelf on the wall, Polaroids, 7 or 8 of them, men with an unfocused quality in their eyes that you recognize now. The same half-second delay you're feeling, the same recalibrating animal panic underneath a face trying to look calm. You stop counting after 7 because counting them means understanding what they are. And on the other side of the bedroom door, visible through the gap, a blue barrel. 55 gallons, rust orange lid. You don't know its contents yet. You will. You make a decision. You make it the way a drowning person decides to kick, not because kicking is guaranteed to work, but because the body refuses to accept the alternative. You are going to find a way out of this apartment. You don't know how. You decide anyway. The drug metabolizes slightly, and your edges sharpen. He goes to the bathroom. You have the geography memorized. Front door 15 feet away, chain latch high on the frame, kitchen to the left. You move. Your legs are inconsistent, but they move. You get the chain off and the door open 4 inches, and the gap shows you the hallway, the stairwell, the street smell drifting up from below. His hand closes around your arm from behind, gentle, almost apologetic, and he says, "You can't go. That you'll be fine. That he'll make breakfast in the morning." Breakfast. He says it the way you'd say it to a friend who stayed too late, like the most normal word in the language. You try something else. You talk to him, not to connect, to survive. Some part of your brain runs the calculation that understanding him buys time, and time is the only currency you have left. He talks more than he means to. He describes loneliness with a precision that lands somewhere uncomfortable because you recognize the shape of it, the invisibility of a city that keeps moving around you, the feeling of being present but unaccounted for. 2 lonely people in a city that didn't notice either of them, and he turned that loneliness into this. You feel a flicker of recognition you don't want and cannot afford. You tell him you understand. You tell him you'll stay. You ask to call your sister just so she doesn't worry. He hands you a phone. No dial tone. He's anticipated this. He has anticipated every step of this conversation because he has had it before. And before that, and before that. The drug pulls you under again. You fight it with fingernail bite pain and ceiling tiles counted in sets of 4, but the body's math is not negotiable. Your eyes close. The last coherent thought is absurdly domestic. You wonder whether your shift tomorrow starts at 7 or 8, whether anyone will notice if you don't show up, whether the bus runs early on that route. The aquarium hums. The incense has burned out. The apartment is completely quiet. You exist in fragments after that. Pain before consciousness. Light that shifts from artificial to gray dawn and back. His voice somewhere in the apartment, low and continuous, not speaking to you. Drawers opening, water running. The smell changes, and you don't let yourself identify how. But at some point, he is gone from the room for 4 minutes. You count them in the dark behind your eyes, and you use them. You reach the street. You cannot run. You move, badly, through early morning air that feels like the first real thing in hours. A police cruiser sits half a block away, engine running, 2 officers inside. You go to it. You speak. You tell them what is happening, where you were, what you found in that apartment. Your speech is still impaired and you know how you look, disoriented, unsteady, clothes wrong. He appears at the building entrance within minutes, calm, articulate, glasses catching the streetlight. He tells them you're a friend who had too much to drink. He tells them he was worried about you. He says it with the patience of a man who has done this before and knows which story the city will believe. They walk you back to apartment 213. They watch him open the door. They leave. The door closes. The lock turns. The aquarium hums in the other room, and the fish circle, and the photographs are still on the shelf, and the blue barrel sits with its rust-orange lid, and somewhere below on the street, the police cruiser pulls away from the curb and continues its route. 17 names. That's the final number, documented across 13 years. Several of them were reported missing before anyone looked. At least one survivor sought help from the people who were supposed to provide it and was handed back. The mechanisms were all present. The city just didn't use them for everyone equally. If you want to see more, click the video on screen now.